The typical life cycle of a startup, the three F's, founding, funding, and the freaking IPO. Google did that, Facebook did that, Twitter did that, they all did that. But in 1999, this guy and 17 of his friends started a company called Alibaba. It's a Chinese B2B marketplace. Think Amazon or eBay, but for the Chinese market. Then they started the normal life cycle of a startup. And then they had their IPO. And it was a gigantic IPO because of the popular belief that this company is going to be huge. So they raised $21.8 billion. It was the largest IPO in the history of the US till this moment. It was more than the three of the companies combined, Twitter, Facebook, and Google. It was actually the biggest IPO in history until 2019 when Saudi Aramco, the oil company, launched their IPO and raised over $25 billion. Surpassing Alibaba. Nevertheless, Alibaba needed to show the world how cool their product is so that they would invest in them. So there must have been some sort of presentation for their IPO. There was one, and we're going to look at it right now. So the IPO roadshow presentation of Alibaba, such a big and important presentation when you come to think about it, because it led them to become a gigantic company. I mean, it was part of the reason, but you know what I mean. So they start off by showing a little bit of their product. There must have been some videos because it's usually an announcement, but we're just going to look at the slides in this analysis. So who are we? Largest online mobile commerce company in the world, transferring commerce in China. They start off very simple, but just showcasing who they are. In terms of design or structure of this deck, it's very traditional. I would say it's not targeting a specific segment of people. It's targeting everyone. They want to show the whole world, everyone, you can invest in Alibaba. And it's not about the design of the presentation. It's about the fact that, you know what, we're meaning business and we have good numbers. So our vision, building the future infrastructure of work, meet, work, live. And again, this deck is not just about their marketplace, and you're going to see it later on because they show their progress, key investment highlights, largest China commerce opportunity, and a few other highlights, just luring you in to read more about them or to invest in them. Why would you invest in them? And then they're going to start discussing one after the other. So why is it large China commerce opportunity? Because the population is that, the internet users is that, and these are 302 million online shoppers, and that's why it's a good opportunity. It makes sense. You really can't argue with that. So at the beginning, most of these statistics are just aiming to tell you, you know what, that China is a good commerce opportunity. And the drivers of why China is growing in terms of internet and in terms of mobile penetration and everything around that. So at the beginning, the first part of the conversation is us trying to convince you, if we're Alibaba, I'm trying to convince you China is a good place to invest in terms of commerce, because there's a lot of people and a lot of people buy things, and it kind of makes sense that they're going to buy online. So it's a good opportunity. Secondly, largest online and mobile commerce business globally. Now they're comparing it with Amazon, eBay, JD.com. I don't know if this statistic actually is sugar-coated so that it would show the truth of what there are. I mean, I'm sure Alibaba was a giant then and they couldn't really fake these numbers, but you could always choose what you're good at and not what you're not good at. So so they start off by showing they're the top global e-commerce platform, and then they start again showing why they're the top. Our scale attracts buyers and sellers, products and service listing, 1 billion annual active sellers. Very good statistics. Again, this is just them flexing their muscles mainly so that you would invest in them. And it works out. Our thriving marketplace, platform, and ecosystem. Alibaba is not just a marketplace. It's a lot of things. So Tmall.com, I think this is the biggest at the moment in China. I've done a research recently and that's what I saw. AliExpress, I'm not sure if they're going to mention the Alibaba Cloud or Alipay at the moment. I think it was a little bit after that. So I don't think they're going to mention it because it didn't exist at that moment. Our thriving marketplace, our China retail marketplaces. Interestingly, I actually just finished a book about Amazon, and they tell how difficult it was to get into China, and how Tmall, for example, is dominating the Chinese market, and it's not easy to get into this market. So I'm reading this deck, and you should, from a different perspective, that Amazon tried, and I wouldn't say they failed, but they are failing at the moment. They're not really getting into the Chinese market as much as Alibaba. I mean, it kind of makes sense also because the founder is Chinese and 17 other co-founders. It's born from there. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. Our wholesale and cross-border marketplaces, China and wholesale, targeting a little bit of eBay here just to see that, we're not just B2B, we're also B2C. But they're now talking about a B2B market, wholesale, some statistics, more statistics. I'll just skim through the things that I feel wouldn't really affect your decision in terms of a roadshow presentation. Our marketplaces are networked and they're showing their marketplaces. A little bit more of that. And they did say Alipay. So they showed that they're not just a marketplace, that they're a technological company, and that they're expanding even more. So when you are investing, you're not just investing in Alibaba, you're investing in Alibaba, Alipay, and many others. I saw a slide down there that actually shows that. Our scalable logistics platform. I love this slide. It shows that Alibaba has a lot of pillars like the search, like the targeted marketing, mobile. I mean, this also goes like it is also with Amazon, but they're just focused on this market. But they're again just showing, we're like Amazon. Amazon just finished their IPO. We're going to be even larger. Our cloud computing platform. Yeah, that's a little bit, they're trying to compete with Amazon Web Services, and I wouldn't say they're as successful in terms of the Alibaba cloud compared to the US. They're probably in terms of numbers maybe, but in terms of a ratio, I wouldn't think so. Of course, I could be wrong. I'm not sure. This is a video, of course, so we can't see it right now. Leadership in mobile commerce and just showing how they're growing. At that moment, mobile expansion was a big deal because I think it was 2013 and mobiles were not as spread as they are right now. Now, you can't really say that mobile penetration is important because it's already there, So they show a little bit of statistics in that area, and then their key growth strategies. Why would they grow? Strengthening our ecosystem. It's quite a large IPO roadshow presentation. The management team and the strong culture and what they did over the years. This is my favorite slide of the deck actually, because it shows that Jack Ma and those other co-founders or the team in general didn't just do Alibaba. They did all these other products over the years, and that's a good track record. It shows that you don't have to worry about the team. Just invest in our stock and just watch it grow. If you did, it wouldn't have grown by now because of all the political issues in China with Alibaba. But nevertheless, it's quite a good product. Financial highlights, and now they're starting to just throw in numbers and statistics for people who are really interested in investing or investing more, or just, if you want to really review the balance sheet. Warren Buffett would advise you to do that. Significant mobile monetization opportunity, increasing mobile monetization, marketplace model. And then a little bit more, I would say this is appendix-ish part, just how their cash flow is growing and how much money they're making. Until this day, Alibaba is still a very big competitor in the e-commerce world. If it isn't the biggest. You'd always, when you say Amazon, you say Alibaba. They're both very close. Stock might have dropped significantly, but that doesn't change the fact that this is a strong company with a strong base. And that's what they tried to show, and it worked out very well because this deck led to a huge investment. The deck tells that it's not just a marketplace, it's much more than that. It's a lot of tech integrations that are going to happen in the future. And they know that Amazon had an IPO at 1997, so they're trying to show you, you know what, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity for a company similar to Amazon, but with a Chinese market of over 1.4 billion people. If you put politics aside when it comes to Alibaba, everything they said in this roadshow presentation proved to be true. They had huge potential in terms of how scalable they're going to be and all the offerings that they offered aside from the marketplace. But that was the IPO pitch deck of Alibaba. Let me know what you think, and like and subscribe to this channel if you actually like this video. I have a lot of more ideas of a lot of more decks to analyze, and if you have a deck in mind, shoot me a comment and tell me what it is so that we would analyze it and check it out together. Most importantly, have a wonderful day.